Hello, tubers. How are you today? Well, today I'm going to go over another passage in the Bible. This time it's going to be from the book of John, chapter 5, verses 1 through 19. And I'm going to use this reader here for you to understand this passage a little bit better. Here we go.
John 5. After this there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first after the troubling of the water stepped in was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. And a certain man was there, which had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lie, and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he saith unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man, when the water is troubled, to put me into the pool, but while I am coming another steppeth down before me. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, It is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. He answered them, He that made me whole, the same said unto me, Take up thy bed, and walk. Then asked they him, What man is that which said unto thee, Take up thy bed, and walk? And he that was healed wist not who it was, for Jesus had conveyed himself away, a multitude being in that place. Afterward Jesus findeth him in the temple, and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole, sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee. The man departed, and told the Jews that it was Jesus which had made him whole. And therefore did the Jews persecute Jesus, and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day. But Jesus answered them, My Father worketh hitherto, and I work. Therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that God was his Father, making himself equal with God. Then answered Jesus and said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise.
Okay, well, that's the passage I wanted to go over. This is the scene where there's a gentleman who had been has some type of sickness for 38 years, and he was waiting to go into this pool of water. This pool of water was supposed to help people who had diseases to be cured from those diseases, and that's when Jesus cured him of his particular disease and told him to get up and take his mat with him and walk away. And then that's when the Jewish priests of that time got angry because he did a miracle on the Sabbath, and he wasn't supposed to take his mat up, and this and that, the other thing, and that was one of the problems that Jesus had when he performed a miracle. But what I wanted to get into was this particular part here, towards the bottom here, when Jesus is speaking, and a couple of things I wanted to mention. Let's see here. Okay, where are we here? Okay, it says here, okay, because the Jewish people were persecuting him because he performed a miracle on the Sabbath day, and then Jesus responded to them saying, "My Father worketh here too, and I work," which is basically saying that my Father works every day, and And because my Father works every day, I also work. So he's saying to these particular Jewish priests that I don't follow the Sabbath day because my Father does not follow the Sabbath day, and I follow my Father. So if my Father works every day, then I shall work. He also says here in the in the verse 19, it says, "Then answered Jesus and said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do. For whatever soever he doth, these also doth the Son likewise." Which basically is saying here that Jesus is saying that I can't do anything of my own accord. I need the Father to do anything that I can do. Everything comes through the Father. So basically, he's saying to these Jewish priests that the miracle that I performed wasn't from me, it was from the God the Father. So don't complain to me that I'm breaking the Sabbath law. Complain to God the Father. So that was one thing that he was trying to mention to them. Of course, they didn't really understand that, nor did they want to understand it. They just wanted to accuse him and kill him, basically, because they thought that he was blasphemous and saying that he was basically the Son of God. So this is something that Jesus is trying to say to these Jewish leaders, saying that, hey, I did this, first of all, God, my Father, our Father, works every day. And I do whatever he does. I follow him. And then he also says, don't blame me for this miracle because I can't do anything without the Father. So don't complain to me that this miracle was done or accomplished because it came through the Father. The other thing I wanted to mention that was very interesting in regards to us is this. Here in the verse 14, afterward Jesus findeth him in the temple and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee. So Jesus has found this particular person who had a miracle, the man that had a problem with the disease. So he sees him in the temple and he says, "Oh, great, you've been made whole. You're better now." But Jesus says to him, particularly, he says, "Sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee." So Jesus Christ is saying to him, and he's saying to us, that sin causes disease. So he's saying, don't sin anymore, because if you keep sinning, you're going to get this disease again. And maybe it's going to be even worse.